Hello and welcome back, guys. This is Ibrahim Quraishi here, and today we are going to continue on what's new in vSphere 8. And the session today will be covering GestOS, so GestOS and workloads, which will be covering a lot of new topics from vSphere 8. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Ibrahim Quraishi. My Twitter ID is Ibrahim Quraishi @Ibrahim Quraishi, as you can see here. I have been a vExpert since quite a few years, and I've been contributing on my blog and my YouTube channel. My blog is agileops.co.uk. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like for new updates. Let's get started. So, what is new in vSphere 8? So, we have got a new hardware version, which I'll be revealing very shortly. So we have a new hardware version, we have Windows 11 deployment at scale, so we can do that because Windows 11 requires TPM. So there's a cool way they have introduced where we do not need to have security risk, which we'll look into that. Application aware vMotion to reduce outages. So we have about time, I guess. VMware or application owners have realized that most of the workload is virtual machines, and the applications should be aware of workload moving from one host to other. So they should be writing applications, right, which are aware of vMotion, and they should be able to talk to the hypervisor. So I guess that's happening, and I was hoping that it would have happened from version 7, but better late than never, I guess, right? So which is good news for application owners. They won't have outages when vMotion happens, if they are sensitive applications like clusters and stuff. And again, we have a special focus on performance improvement, which is for latency sensitive workloads, specifically, like I mentioned, clusters, and other use cases we'll discuss in this session today. And then finally we'll be looking at the NUMA virtual NUMA configuration, which has been introduced from this new virtual hardware. So let's get started. Okay, so the virtual hardware version, I guess if you are VI admins, you will know this already. It is version 20 now. So VMware hardware version 20 brings new virtual hardware innovations, enhanced guest services for application, increased performance and scales for certain workloads. So in virtualization hardware innovations, latest Intel and AMD CPU support has been introduced. Device virtualization extensions up to 32 direct path IO devices can be connected. So that's new, which has been introduced. Guest services for application, which is vSphere datasets, application avail migrations, latest guest operating system support, which is obviously Windows 11 and Windows 12, somewhere around the corner, I guess, has been already available, which I have seen recently when deploying a virtual machine on vSphere 8. So that is really nice, because obviously sometimes you have that issue where you're trying to deploy a latest OS and you don't even have a virtual hardware available for that. But I have seen Windows 12. There you go. This that shows that they are on top of the game, right? And then we have performance and scale improvements, which is allowing up to 8 virtual GPU devices, device groups, high latency sensitivity with hyper threading. So there's a lot new features in there, guys. So let's look at the mass deployment of Windows 11. So basically, as we all know, Windows 11 needs TPM provisioning, but what will happen sometimes if you're cloning virtual machines, there is a huge security risk, right? Because cloning a VM with a TPM can introduce a security risk, as TPM secrets are cloned along with the virtual machine. So when creating a clone, you will be presented with an option that you can choose either to copy or to replace the TPM provisioning policy. So which basically then will create a brand new unique machine secret, right? Obviously, just for security, you will want to replace that. So yeah, that's very good. And that is I guess similar to when we are cloning, it creates a unique UUIDs and all that for specific reasons. So it's similar here again, but in the context of TPM. So in vSphere 8 there is a TPM provisioning policy, in short, which will ask you if you wish to clone or replace vTPM devices on virtual machine. When cloning the virtual machine, that's simple as that, really. The clone option will clone the vTPM secrets, whereas the replace option will reset the vTPM device as if it was a new one been added, and it will be a unique one, I guess. Yeah. And next one is reduce outages. Now, how are we going to reduce outages? This is back to what I mentioned earlier, that it's about time where application owners are writing applications which are aware of vMotions may happen in the background, because most of these applications are now deployed on virtual machines. Well, it's nearly around a decade now that most of the applications are being deployed on virtual machines now. So it was about time that they are now making applications aware of vMotions. So certain application cannot tolerate stern time associated with vSphere vMotion. The application owners should be aware of as well. These applications can be written to be migration away, so the application itself will be aware that it will be going through a vMotion, and it to improve their interoperability with vMotion, they will basically talk to the vSphere hypervisor, and when the vMotion is happening, it will basically let the application know that it is moving from one host to other, so that it is either pausing the application for a while, or making sure the application is failed over maybe to a different one, so that there's less impact. Some of the use cases is time sensitive application, voice over IP applications, video conferencing, or voice conferencing applications can be made aware, use this advantages, I guess. And of course, clustering, Microsoft clustering, or any other clustering which is happening on active passive sort of mechanism, or active sort of mechanism. Those are also some of the use cases which can be using or benefiting from this reduce outages by making it aware of the vMotion happening in the background. So what's next? So next we'll be looking at performance improvement for latency sensitive workload. As you can see here in the image, we have high latency require you to set CPU to 100% and memory reserved. So the only limitation when you are setting this is obviously there's a reservation which you need to allocate. So you need to reserve the CPU. If you are giving 4 CPUs, you need to set reserve CPU, and also if you are allocating 16 GB memory, you need to allocate reserve that memory as well. High latency sensitivity with hyperthreading requires virtual machine hardware version 20, which of course we are discussing all the features of hardware version 20, so that's a given, and is configurable in advanced settings for virtual machines like this, so how I have highlighted here. And another feature is we have something called virtual NUMA, simplified virtual NUMA configuration. Now if you are not aware, NUMA is the architecture with this CPU. So you have a CPU and a bank of memory with that CPU, and most cases the physical hardware will have more than one CPUs, right? So you'll be having more than one CPU and respective banks, so we can allocate which CPU and memory to be reserved, and we can obviously speed up the processing thereby. So vSphere 8 and hardware version 20 allows you to use the vSphere client to configure the vNUMA topologies for these virtual machines as shown here. And also we can see the similar thing in a new tab. A new CPU topology tile is visible on the virtual machine summary tab, which you can see the current topology, and you can see the vCPUs 4 cores per socket is 2, thread per core is 1, and then NUMA nodes is 2 core per NUMA node. So that's how you can check it out as well. I guess there are a lot of new features coming out. The maximum number of virtual machines and all that has also increased. I guess there is a lot of new features coming out. Be sure to check out my next video and find out more. For those of you who are willing to learn virtualization and are struggling because you don't have the right resources or the right level of physical hardware to install vSphere hypervisor, I'm quite passionate about VMware virtualization, and I've been teaching it since last couple of years now. So a lot of subscribers has asked me to offer support or labs where they can just log in and start working. So the good news is I have got it available with vSphere 8 as well. So if you are interested and you are struggling to set up your own home lab, you can reach out to me at my email address here, ibrahim@agileops.co.uk, and I'll be happy to assist. And that's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell for new updates from me. Don't forget to check out my blog, agileops.co.uk, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Ibrahim Quraishi. Enjoy watching and keep sharing. Cheers, bye.